guys, it is time to begin Bollocks this evening. We have some great guests in here. We have the Senior versus Crime of St. Johns County, the volunteers unit in here to talk about different scams and how to protect seniors. But the first thing we have to do is we have to go through our amazing sponsors because we're in the wrong
I didn't do it. I'll fix it.
wrong logo. Oh, Blake is going to be so disappointed right now. All right. We are in the Bozard Ford studios, and I'm talking about Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine. Their goal is to make sure your time and experience buying a car is stress-free, fun, and enjoyable. Bozard Ford is a family-owned Ford dealership that has been in business since 1949. Bozard Ford Lincoln has been the recipient of numerous dealer awards, including being ranked #1 automotive dealership in the nation by Dealer Rater. Bozard Ford also has won back-to-back President's Awards, which is the highest honor given by Ford Motor Company. Check them out today online at bozardford.com.
Right there, Bozard Ford Studio.
It's obviously right there.
It's right there. All right, A.D. Davis Construction. When quality matters, trust A.D. Davis Construction, North Florida's expert in high-end homes, commercial builds, renovations, and historic restorations. With over 74 years of experience, their dedicated team offers craftsmanship you can count on and relationships built on trust. They don't just build buildings, they build confidence with integrity, performance, and results that keep over 85% of their clients coming back. From concept to completion, choose A.D. Davis Construction, where your vision meets their legacy of excellence.
All right, and if you want to eat, drink, and be Irish, you need to be at Meehan's Irish Pub and Seafood House, right on the waterfront in downtown St. Augustine. Whether you're craving classic corned beef and cabbage, fresh seafood from the Raw Bar, or their famous bangers and mash, Meehan's is where locals and visitors feel right at home. Grab a pint in their cozy Irish pub. Unwind upstairs at the Johnny's Oyster Bar with the stunning views of the Matanzas River, or kick back in the backyard with tropical vibes and a Caribbean-inspired menu. The pints are cold, the food's unforgettable, and the welcome is always warm, only at Meehan's.
Absolutely. For over 30 years, Land Title of America has been St. Augustine's trusted name in title insurance and real estate closings. Locally owned by Stephen Collins, this family-run company blends personalized service with cutting-edge technology to ensure smooth, accurate closings. No call centers, no hassle, just real people ready to answer your questions and meet you where it's most convenient. Located at 100 South Park Boulevard, or text Stephen directly at 904-501-4481. Land Title of America, your local title company insuring America's land, one title at a time. I won't say the next line.
Yeah, we're not going to do it. We don't do that anymore.
Don't do that.
We're not those kids. All right, and we have other amazing sponsors like Kaiser's Deli and Market, St. Augustine Distillery, and Citygate Spirits, A to Z Roofing, Anastasia Diner, Moultrie Creek Diner, Mr. Electric, Brightway Insurance, St. Augustine Pirate and Treasure Museum, the St. and Anastasia Construction Group, along with Solar Stick, Abear Kresge and Associates, and my favorite today because they're going to my house, Powell Heating and Air. Thank you guys for being there, and thank you guys for coming in and suffering through our wonderful reads.
Hey, yes. I bought a car from Bozard. I eat at Meehan's a lot, and Anastasia Diner's my favorite place for breakfast. How's that?
They're
Nice.
they're wonderful
Perfect.
people. We appreciate you supporting us.
Absolutely.
And that's why we're supporting you.
Ipso facto.
No. But you guys, and I want to get this right, it's Seniors versus Crime.
Mm-hmm.
It's a special project by the Florida Attorney General's office, but you're hosted from the Sheriff's Department here in town.
You stole all my thunder.
Okay.
I'm supposed to say all that.
I was trying to get that into my brain so as we move forward.
Sir, you're correct.
And we have Scott Harrington in here and Kathleen Andrews. So, Scott, I'm going to actually, no, I'm not starting with you. I'm starting with Kathleen over here. She's much
Ladies
I know.
much
She always
prettier.
gets the attention.
She's much prettier, even though I do love your hair. Kathleen, so tell us about this program and how you got involved, and then we're going to let Scott have his turn too, because He seems very, very bashful.
Very bashful.
Yeah.
Thank God one of us is.
Yeah.
So Seniors versus Crime, we have two missions. Mission number one is to educate the people of St. Johns County about what frauds and scams are, different components of a fraud and a scam, how to recognize them, and how to recover from them if you are defrauded or scammed. Our second mission is to investigate. If people come to us through the Florida Attorney General's office or other sources, then we investigate what their concerns are, and we try and come to a resolution either through a vendor or whomever they had issues with. I came through Seniors versus Crime because I do have a law enforcement background, and I had a I had a person in my family who was scammed.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the fast action of the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office, this family member was not impacted any financial way, although she had the potential of losing all of her savings.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So they were able to intercede on her behalf and stop the money from going.
Yeah. And for someone like me, you know, I'm right at that 60 age, and my parents are in their 80s. It's a fear because my parents live in Tennessee, and it's already actually happened to them once they first retired. They had a scam against them, a real estate scam against them, and I was a little upset with them because I do real estate, and my parents fell into something and didn't even ask me before they fell into it. How hard is it? And Scott, I'm going to turn it to you, because to me, with my parents didn't even tell me about it. They knew they got scammed, but they were so embarrassed by it. How do you break through that with these seniors that are so prideful?
It's a great question.
And get them to open up to you.
It's a great point, and it's one of the main points of the educational presentations that we do, is to stress that you should not be embarrassed.
Yeah.
You should not
their
be
fault.
afraid. We start each presentation with, if you haven't been scammed yet today, you will be. Because we all know, we see it on our telephones and our computers and our iPads multiple times a day, some organization or person trying to get your information. So we stress that to them. And to your real estate point, title fraud has become one of the hot topics for us to talk about when we do these presentations. St. Johns County, thankfully, and maybe all counties in Florida, have a program where you can register your title with the county. And while it doesn't keep you from being a victim of fraud, it requires the county to notify you when there's activity on your title. So every homeowner, condo owner, property owner in St. Johns County should register their title with the county to be able to take advantage of that service.
Yeah, and I've noticed this on the real estate side, and it's when people pass away, and it's in a trust, and a lot of especially when there's multiple properties in that trust, that seems to be something that's from the real estate side, people are attacking, because they'll check into this person, they'll see that, just like me, if my parents pass away in Tennessee, they'll see I'm not there, and there's people that are trying to sell properties they don't own.
Correct.
And it becomes a big horror show for the survivors of that. But if they do this with this title, it should protect them. It gives them another layer of protection.
What it does is they're notified that there's activity on their title, and they're able to stop it before it gets to that point.
Gotcha.
That's the goal of that program.
Yeah, and we do a title show here on the network with Land Title.
Yeah, there you go.
On Wednesday night, and they talk a lot about property rights and a lot of those things. And Kathleen, I'm bouncing back to you over here. What is probably the number one scam you see with seniors that you're defending against? I mean, it sounds like it's pretty broad.
It is.
But what is one that you just go, Here we are again.
So one of the things that we do mostly is to deal with vendor or warranty disputes, and that's kind of high on our list. And some of them are legitimately scams. Some of them are misunderstandings. Some of them are contracts that were signed that the fine print wasn't written. So, but the ones that are primarily scams, we do an investigation to see who the individual was, if they're licensed in the state of Florida, what exactly the nature of the scam is, and then we work with the complainants to see if they can give us as much information as we can. And those kinds of issues are the ones that are the primary ones that are brought to us. There are others, but of the ones that we've had since the beginning of 2025, I think we're up to 26 investigations that we've done now. And I think the larger preponderance of them are for the ones that are vendor related.
And I've seen this one out there. You know, I don't know if you guys know anything. I do construction and development also, and I see people that say they're a contractor and they're like, okay, put down a deposit, and then that person is never
never see him again.
Heard from again.
Right.
You know, and that's probably the most common one I see out there. How do you protect the seniors? Do you have this program in like the Council on Aging, or where do seniors get this information from you?
We do presentations wherever we're invited to do presentations. We just did the Marsh Creek Homeowners Association this week. We did in Ponte Vedra.
We've done Palencia. We've done World Golf Village. We've done the Council on Aging. We've been to the Council on Aging. We've done, we have a couple of churches that are coming up for presentations. We've done a few at the library.
Oh, that's right, the library.
Yeah. So we have a Facebook page that we 2 or 3 times a week we'll post things. If we see something, for example, the romance scam that you were just talking about, as soon as we saw that, we picked that up and put it on our Facebook page. But if we get scams, especially if we get them, then we have a little bit more knowledge base, and we'll put it on our Facebook, and sometimes we, do a jazzy title or something like that to catch people's attention, and we say, this is what can happen to you, this is how you can become aware of it, and this is what we can do to help you to get through it.
By the way, we're learning at the same time, right? Because as soon as a scam is discovered and thwarted, the scammers come up with a new way to present it.
They tweak it.
They're constantly evolving.
We track our Facebook page, which is Seniors versus Crime, St. Johns County. You can just type that into the search bar and our Facebook page will come up. We'd love you to see it and follow it.
Yep. I shared it in the comments.
Thank you.
Yep.
And we've found that we have sometimes scammers following us on Facebook because they're wanting to learn what we know. So at each turn, when we get thwarted, they'll change their tactics, but so will we. And in the end, we'll win.
Yeah. We do have a question from the audience. Jury duty scams. Is that something that you guys deal with as well?
Absolutely. That's what we would call that a government scam.
Okay.
You find that with jury duty. You find that with UO tolls, right? You get that text that says
you
have
and 30 of your closest friends get the text that you need to pay a toll.
And you know what? That's scary to some people. Maybe they travel back and forth to see their grandkids or their kids or however. And who knows if they drove through a toll booth in South Carolina and it didn't pick up the license plate. And so they hit a link. And once they hit that link, it's all over. Never, ever, ever pay a toll, a fine, or a government bill through a text or an email. You will never, ever be asked to do that. Those are all scams.
You're saying the DOT doesn't have a PayPal or a Venmo?
Isn't that funny? Yes.
Come on now.
We have a list of our most prominent scams, romance scams. You've already talked about that. We have a couple of active ones of those occurring as we speak. Cases that are open that we're working with the victims or generally the victims' families more often to help. A lot of times people don't want to believe that they're the victim of a romance scam, right?
Yeah.
It hurts the heart, and that's a shame that people are
You don't
advantaged
think- you
that
don't
way.
think that's what Rebecca's doing to me, do you?
100%.
Yeah.
That's what's
All right, all right,
happening.
all right.
But she's really good at it.
She's really committed to her craft.
She's doing well.
Yeah. For 3 years, she's been committed to this craft. Too.
Government agencies collecting fines, fee, bail, which you just mentioned. We had a celebrity scam recently where the victim thinks that they're communicating with a famous person
Yeah.
and that person is their friend or even a romantic interest. It's sad and it's unfortunate. The home repair scams that you've talked about, title fraud scams, lottery scams. You've won the Irish sweepstakes. $5 million waiting for you. All you need to do is send us your bank account information and a small fee, and we can transfer the money to you.
I blame Egg McMahon for that one.
Still wasn't him. No, and as far as the
Disagree.
celebrity scams go, my friend is the manager for Kevin Costner, and he is constantly letting people know Kevin is not doing this. Kevin is not meeting people, not doing just meet and greets and going to meet you up for $500 or whatever it is. That's
Or
not,
a gift card.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner doesn't need you to send him a gift card for $200.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
no,
sure.
he does not.
Right.
And the thing is with the AI,
Yeah.
it's so real.
It's so hard.
And
Deep
I mean,
fake.
because he showed me one, we all know what Kevin looks like and stuff like that. Well, he showed me one and it's like, wow, it looked. I mean, it was. I'm not my parents' age, but I'm up there in years. But I couldn't tell the difference.
Right.
And I even knew it was a scam, and I couldn't tell the difference.
There's a term that's used that we've learned through our work at the Sheriff's Department, through the detectives that we work with there. And once again, let me say we are a special program of the Florida Attorney General's Office. But here in St. Johns County, we are sponsored by Sheriff Hardwick and the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office. We are hosted by them. Our offices are at the S-Rock Station, the South Regional Operations Center on US 1 down there by Walmart. And most of the resources that we get here locally to do this kind of work comes through the Sheriff's Department. We're very, very thankful for that and want to acknowledge it. But there's a term they use there that we learned called pig butchering. And that's
You
where
know a little bit about that.
you look like you may have been a butcher at a previous life.
I was 100% a pig farmer, and my dad was a butcher.
There you go.
Okay, so you nailed it.
So
right
what
on
do you
the
do?
head.
What do you do with a pig before you butcher him? You fatten him up, right?
You corn them out. Yeah.
So a scammer will get an inroad to a potential victim, and they'll start small. They'll make friends. They'll chat on Facebook or on what they prefer to get is one of the untraceable accounts where it can't be brought back to them. And it may take a month, 2 months, 3 months, but they will develop trust with that victim and then go in for the kill and say, gosh, I need bail money. I'm having trouble at my house. I would love to travel to see you, but I can't afford the plane ticket.
Yeah.
And once they're in, they'll stay until the person realizes they become a victim.
Yeah.
And that we refer to as pig butchering.
Gracious. We have another comment from Bobby, and he mentioned that people with dementia and Alzheimer's can be easily frightened by one of those texts or by
course.
a relationship with a scammer. How do you head off something like that?
Well, you can't really head it off. Kathleen, you've had some experience with this, though.
So this is one of the issues that came up with the family member because she was in early dementia. And initially, the scammer said it was a bank fraud, and they called from her bank. And they had actually been picking away at her for about 9 months.
Oh, wow.
Every month or so, they defraud her credit card. And how they got that information is still not clear. But when they finally called her and said, listen, we know you're being defrauded. We think it's coming from inside your financial institution, so we're going to do like a sting operation. And the long and the short of it was they asked her for money at the end of the day because they wanted to trace the money. Coincidentally, I shared a certificate of deposit with her, and she took out half the certificate of deposit. And I went, what's going on there?
Yeah.
So I called her and I said, what's going on? And she said, I can't talk to you about it. It's a secret. So
Red flags all over the place.
Yes.
Right. The bank will
Yeah.
never, ever, ever do that.
right.
Yeah.
So that's when I called the sheriff's office because I knew that she had a lot at risk. And she was adamant, even standing face to face with the 3 deputies that were trying to tell her, you've been scammed, you've been scammed. Absolutely not. She would not believe
I'm
it.
helping the bank.
Right. You don't understand. Right.
Yeah.
So that's the best we could do is to call the sheriff's office and let them know to see if they would intercede. And they were very good about it. And since that time, if we've had a particularly onerous case that it's been a scam, they will step in and talk to the victim. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. When you're dealing with dementia, it's a different story because they have a different reality.
Yeah, for sure.
We do encourage family members, though, to become, what's the correct term? Guardianship. Thank you. Guardianship, if they have a relative, a family member who is obviously starting down that path, to go through guardianship. But that is expensive and time consuming. It doesn't happen overnight. You need to get an attorney, and that person also needs an attorney to make sure that it's legitimate, they're being fairly represented. But that would be one other avenue that a person could follow if they see a parent or a loved one who is no longer able to make those kind of decisions for themselves. A lot of times, though, that person doesn't know that they're not able to make that decision for themselves anymore and doesn't really want to admit that. So it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, and my parents, I mean, I'm fortunate. They're both of sound mind. But my parents 2 years ago said, all right, we're just putting you on every account. So, and my parents have always been super frugal. So if they go and write a check, I'm like, hey, what
Where'd that check go?
What's this groceries you're buying?
what is that? And you know, it's always worked out. But I mean, I'm able to check their accounts as long as I'm checking my accounts at the same time. And I don't think everybody has that open relationship with a loved one beside them.
Sure helps if you do, though.
Yeah, I mean, you got to protect your tribe. When dealing with seniors, and you do have a family member that can be an advocate, how do you help massage that relationship where it is a son or a daughter that could take responsibility? How do you get that senior to relinquish that in a conversation or education wise to make it happen? Because I could see my parents are both very stubborn, but it was their idea. It wasn't their idea, it would have never worked.
Yeah.
So how do you make that transition? I mean, it's kind of like taking the keys from your parents.
Well, you have to do it before.
It's a tough thing.
To do it before they cross that line.
Yeah.
Because of a medical circumstance in my own life, I found that I needed to put my children on everything that we had.
Yeah.
Of course, you have to trust your children, and I do trust my children.
For sure.
So put their names on your bank accounts, put their names on your property, put their names on your will, do all those things. But the key there is to do it while the person is still of sound mind and body, because if you are, you realize that this is an important thing to do to guard yourself as you become less able to follow. I'm not good with electronics, or I want to call my son to program the VCR. He says, "What's a VCR?"
Yeah.
Sure.
Right? Yeah.
Change the clock on the stove.
Yeah, exactly. So
It's 12 o'clock a lot.
the short answer is do it when your parent or the person that your loved one is still able to make good, rational decisions.
For sure. As far as, a romance scam, how do those even start? Are these people in their lives? Is it like a favored person in the doctor's office or the restaurant, or are these like online dating and social media apps?
Yes to all of that.
Okay.
There's a lot of those come from either the online dating sites or if you follow Facebook at all, you'll have the original Facebook person, especially if it's a celebrity,
Yeah.
and then the fake.
Yeah.
And people get caught up in that. you know. But most of the romance scam that we have dealt with most recently, it was from an online dating thing, and somebody portrayed as a famous person.
Okay.
And-
Catfish.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and one of the things I wanted to mention, because Scott, when we were talking about what do you do if you run into a situation where the parents or the family member doesn't want to do this. We've recently started to partner with a co-responder team from the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office, and that's a deputy, and it's a licensed clinical social worker. So if you get into a situation where somebody has some kind of a disability where they don't have the same capacity to understand and they're being scammed, and it's a serious scam, then we try and partner with them to see if there's not something that they can do to massage the situation.
Right. And you guys' position is, what is the staff that you have that's working with you?
Sure.
And, you know, are there volunteers that are help you kind of filter through in this situation?
By the way, that's such an important point that Kathleen made. This is a unique program in St. Johns County, right? That the sheriff initiated, where he took a deputy and put that deputy with a social worker. They did that proactively because there are so many people who have a mental health issue, maybe a temporary one, maybe a permanent one, and the police have been responding to those for decades without the proper tools to address them. And by partnering a social worker with a deputy, they're giving the department another tool to help that citizen. We are a group right now of 9 volunteers. We started with 1 and have grown. Seniors versus Crime has been around since 2001.
Okay.
Since that time, in the state of Florida, SVC, we call ourselves SVC, has done over 39,000 cases, recovered over $16 million returned to the citizens of Florida in real dollars, and over $12 million in realized gain. In other words, that contractor who took the deposit and didn't come back have been able to work that out between the contractor and the citizen, so that the citizen was satisfied with what they got. Here in our office, we've handled 27 cases so far this year. We've referred 2 to law enforcement, to the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office. We've referred 1 to a federal agency. We've returned $48,850 to the citizens of St. Johns County. We've done now 11 or 12 public presentations this year, with several more on the calendar. And we do that with all volunteers. We're all 9 volunteers, all professionals.
All local
All
here,
local folks.
all local here.
Everybody lives here in St. Johns County, and they come from a variety of backgrounds. You can share some of those, Kathleen.
So we have former law enforcement. We have a risk compliance person. We've got an insurance person. We have a lawyer. We have a banker, and we have an IT person.
Okay.
So
Sounds like a well-rounded group.
yeah,
Well, everybody's got something they can contribute. When one of us has a question about the other specialty, we get to do that.
I didn't hear pig farmer.
Not yet.
Not yet, but we'd love one because we all like bacon.
I do love some bacon.
We also have the resources of the Sheriff's Department at our disposal. We work out of the Property Crimes Unit. So very often we'll go to one of those detectives or the leader of the unit or the lieutenant or the commander and say, gosh, we're not quite sure what to do about this. Give us some guidance.
Yeah.
And that's a wonderful tool for us to have. And by the same token, we have partnered with them. You've got that little flyer in front of you there. That's something that we developed cooperatively with the Sheriff's Department for deputies to carry with them when they're responding to calls. One thing a police officer hates to say when he or she goes to a call is, there's nothing I can do for you, ma'am. Right? Nobody wants to say that.
Yeah, for sure.
But many times that call is not of a criminal nature. There really isn't anything the deputy can do right then and there. This gives them the tool to be able to say to that senior citizen or that person who's been the victim of a scam or has a contractor dispute, instead of saying there's nothing I can do to help you, they'll hand that card over and say, give these folks a call. They work out of our office and they may be able to guide you.
All right, I'm going to load up your email address here on you haven't done that yet, right?
Not yet.
Okay.
So while he's doing that, my church, the average age of my church is slightly north of mine. And so
nicely put.
so scams are something that we have to talk about at my church. One thing that we have noticed is that scammers will go to our website, will get the name of our pastors, create some janky version of an email address that includes their name, usually spelled wrong, and emails it to staff members or parishioners saying, hey, I'm in a meeting. I want to give out bonuses. I need you to help. Can you go get gift cards? And so this happens, I would say, once a month. I'm blocking an email address from someone doing that. Is that something that you're getting a lot from churches? Have you heard about that yet?
I don't know about necessarily from churches, but that's a tool that we advise. You've already got it down. You got it perfect. Look at that email address. You know, or you don't know, but you can look at an email address and you can see that it's not a normal email address. There are extra letters added. Things are spelled wrong. Sometimes it's addressed to hundreds of people at once. That's a big red flag. No, no, no. This is the first I've heard of it from a church, though, and that's disturbing.
Yeah, I would
And we
definitely.
can add that to our presentation material now.
Yeah, I can forward you some of those emails if
Yeah.
you want to see what they look like. But that's all we can figure is that they're studying our social media, they're studying our website, and they're reaching out to our parishioners lists, and anyone that's listed gets an email. And so, and it's always a clone of the head pastor.
Right.
asking
But
for
it's going to
gift
be off. It's going to be
Yep.
off by a few letters,
cards.
and it's going to be sent to a foreign country.
Yeah.
Something that Kathleen mentioned earlier that we should just make sure that people are aware of. AI is being used, artificial intelligence is being used in these scams as well. You mentioned it, Kathleen, but they're able to superimpose a face over their face.
Yep.
And they're able to superimpose a voice over their voice. You must look closely, but you can detect these things
Something's off.
because something, exactly. And you know, you can feel it right in the back of your neck when something's off. They're a little glitchy. The timing of the speech doesn't match the movement of their lips.
Yep.
There's a slow movement on the screen. Be very wary of things like that. If you think you're talking to your cousin in Australia, but she looks a little bit off, and you say, "Gee, what's the matter?" And they say, "Oh, it's okay. It's just because we're over the internet." That's not the
It's
truth.
a connection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the connection, not the truth.
Yeah. And a good thing that I have found, because again, I have these conversations a lot with people that are slightly older than me, always look for the hands. Always look for the hands. Look for the fingers. Count the number of arms and legs that are supposed to be in the picture and how many are there. They're almost never right. The number of times I've commented on someone's post like, hey, that person's not real. This isn't a real GoFundMe. That's an AI image. Like 100% you should delete this.
Yep.
Always check for the body parts. Count them like a baby, a doctor handing over a baby. 10 fingers, 10 toes. If it's not right, then don't share it.
And gift cards.
Yeah.
Nobody's asking you for gift cards to pay a fine, to pay for anything. We've also had the grandmother scam, right? Where grandma gets a call. It's me, Scott, grandma, and I'm in trouble. I got arrested and I don't want mom and dad to find out. So please listen to this nice police officer who's going to tell you how to send me bail.
Yeah.
Never hang up.
Yep.
Where are you?
That
I'll
was
call
part
back.
of the reason, and the sheriffs talked on that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that was part of the reason why they had to pull down the sheriff log or the
jail
log,
Mm-hmm.
because so many people were doing scams like
Yep.
that, or they were taking out credit cards against the people that were in jail. So, but it was a lot of it was they were calling grandma, they were calling somebody that they realized, because you can find out anything.
Yep.
Really, if you want to find out something,
Everything's on the web.
It's right there. So you can find it out. That was one of the reasons they had to pull it down is because of the scams against these and the crimes against the people that were actually getting arrested.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, most of the time it was something really small, but they're getting arrested. They knew they weren't at the house. They knew they weren't doing
Now
this.
they can go and do a burglary or
Yeah.
even easier, do a scam.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the answer is to verify. hang up, say, thank you, where are you? I'll call you right back. And then you call back. You don't have to take action immediately. You can always wait. Stop and verify who you're talking to, whether it's bail or I need help or I'm in the hospital and I need money to pay my bill because they won't let me out. Stop. I'll call you back.
Yep. And what you do to verify that, what do you recommend? I personally will go to Google and I will Google the facility.
Exactly.
I'll Google the hospital.
Go find the right number.
Yeah. And I'll call from there and I'll work backwards. Because I've gotten emails about fraud being detected at my bank. And I always go to my banking app, contact us, phone number. This is the email I got. Usually they want me to forward the email to them because they want to do something about the fraud or alert from their end. But never click a link. Never trust the number that they called you from.
You look on the back of your credit card. You call that number.
Yeah.
When they say, "Oh, your PayPal account," the credit card attached to your PayPal account is call the number on the back of your credit card, not the number they give you.
Some of them are so good. I mean, it's happening in the business. It's not just seniors.
It's not.
It's happening in the business world where I'll look at something and I was like, okay, they want you to put in your password or reset your password, and you're like, something's a little off, and you have to. I always have to send it over to like our IT guy.
Yep.
Scam. Yep. That's the entire email. Yeah. Skip. Yep. And that's, I mean, but it doesn't hurt to ask before you take any action. And that's what I tell my parents. I was like, and Bobby and I think Barbara Jean both said in the comments, you don't recognize the number. You don't, not expecting someone who's not calling you. Don't pick up. I'm in a little different situation in real estate. You kind of got to pick up the phone. But if you're a scammer, have you guys ever heard me with any of these guys?
No,
I'm the wrong guy to call.
Give them a little of their own medicine.
Oh, I'm the wrong guy to call because I mean I pick up right away. Hello, and I go, Sergeant, they know the deceased. And, and I was like, hold on right here. You've called a crime scene. And they're gone.
Of course,
They're gone immediately. At one time, I did keep somebody on for like 4 or 5 minutes, and I was loving life.
Oh, my word. That is child's play. I have a friend that can play dumb on the phone like you would not believe. And she keeps these scammers on for 45 minutes. And she was in the office next to me, and she'd have them on speakerphone, and she'd just keep them going until they lose it, and they cuss her out. And you are making a fool of me. You are making a fool. And they chew her out, and they hang up.
Stop being a bad person.
It's so funny.
Stop doing that, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Stop being a bad person.
She's doing the Lord's work. She's just keeping them busy so they can't make another call.
Yeah, I probably saved 5 other people.
Yeah,
That's right.
100%.
We did recently have someone who asked us at an event that we did, very much wanted to stop spam calls on their phone. And you can do that on your telephone. You can stop them from coming in. And it's important for folks to realize and understand that if you answer a spam call, just answering it, you go on a list that gets sold from scam group to scam group that this person will answer their phone because that's all they really want. So the best thing to do is to let that call go to voicemail. If it's not when you're going to have fun with it, when you're able to have fun with it, have some fun. But if you're
blocked when you keep them on the phone for 45 minutes,
if you worry about it, you let that go to voicemail because your doctor, your insurance company, your family will leave you a voicemail, and then you can call them back. You do not have to answer every call that comes in.
Well, and there's certain occupations.
Well, you do. Sorry, you have to answer every call.
That doesn't. You can't 100%.
We're old and retired. We don't have to answer anybody.
Retired people, you don't have to answer anything. Nope. And I tried retirement. It's the only job I really failed at. So
I can coach you if you'd like. I love it.
Yeah. Currently has 9 jobs. He failed immensely.
I didn't just fail. I failed horribly at retirement. So, and it's really sad for me because a lot of these people have worked their entire lives to get where they're at.
Yes, they have.
And to hold on, and they're still living on a very, very tight budget with a giving heart, because usually they attack the ones with a giving heart. When you get to a victim that has lost a significant amount, do you have, I heard something about it, and a social worker, but like almost a victim advocate program that works people through this to kind of help them emotionally move to that next level to be there?
We have a pretty broad list of resources that we can offer to people, including social service agencies and different government agencies that we provide to people if the need arises. And it's frequently there's also information on this list about identity thefts and who to contact for that. And so when we're talking to people, if we feel like there's some of those resources they can use, then we give them the list and they can refer to it.
We also have just begun working with the Sheriff's Department co-responder unit in a capacity where they'll come across someone and they will do what they're trained to do. They will work with that person. But sometimes when you leave that person, maybe they're elderly, maybe they're alone, maybe they don't have family or friends in the community, and that sheriff's unit would like to see a follow-up of some kind. But they have to go on to their next case. They're not able to do that. So what we've done is we've sort of partnered up with them and said, hey, if you got somebody that needs a checkup, give us a call. We're sitting in an office. We can pick up the telephone and just say, you doing okay? You got enough food in the house? Are you getting to the doctor? And if not, we have resources that we can point them in the correct direction for. We can't solve their problems. You have to be able to solve your own problem. But what we can do is be there as a resource for them, a friendly voice, somebody to say, here's where you call. Here's the food bank you call if you don't have enough groceries in the house. Here's how you can get a ride to the doctor, things like that.
Okay. 67 counties in the state. You guys are in St. Johns County. How many counties actually have this program? Because I could see it would be a challenge to have some of these more rural counties to have a program, what you guys have, without the support of the sheriff. And our sheriff's wonderful.
Yes, he is.
Out of the 67, how many counties do you know actually have this program?
How about the biggest county in Florida? The biggest city in Florida doesn't have a Seniors versus Crime program, Duval. And we're working to try to help them or to encourage them to establish that. We're doing a presentation next week at a Del Webb community up there. And it happens that this community has a preponderance of retired law enforcement there. So we're going to encourage them to think about going to the sheriff's office up there. TK Waters and Sheriff Hardwick are friendly and offer our support. There are 31 offices, 31 Seniors versus Crime offices around Florida. So 31 counties have them.
So just under half.
Yeah.
But Duval does not.
Duval does not currently have that, and we along with Nassau, St. John's, along with Nassau, and that's it, are doing our best to answer calls for service in Duval County. But our loyalty is here to St. Johns County, because were it not for Sheriff Hardwick and the men and women of the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office and the incredible teamwork that they've offered to us, we would not be in existence. There are other SVC offices that work out of a church basement, let's say, or a social hall, and they're really stuck for resources. We're not. We're very, very lucky. Not that we couldn't use some more resources, because there are things that the sheriff's office can't do for us. They don't spend taxpayer dollars on us other than in-kind services. We work out of their station, so we get to use the copier, let's say, but they're not giving us any money. And not that we want money, but there's equipment that would help us and things like that. But we don't solicit donations. But
I was going to say, do you get anything? I mean, it's through the state. What kind of budget does the state allocate for you at all? You guys have really nice shirts.
We do, and that's what they give us, really nice shirts.
Really nice
the name
shirts
tags we bought ourselves.
You bought the name tags yourself.
Business cards we've purchased ourselves.
Okay.
They'll give you a business card, but it doesn't have your name on it. It just has a blank space where you write your name, and we felt we would like to make a more professional presentation for the sheriff and for the attorney general. We've met the new Attorney General, James Upmeyer. He came here and did a presentation 3 months ago and invited us to come, which was really, really nice. So we got to meet him, and he offered all of the support he can give us. And let's remember, they're in Tallahassee, and we're quite far down on the list. And we don't solicit things. We don't ask for things. We don't really need that. But there are pieces of equipment that would be helpful to us, things like that. But really, when we go to a venue, it's up to the venue to provide the presentation equipment. We have a member, we call him Hitch, who brought in his own projector. So if they don't have a projector there, we use that.
Yeah.
What am I missing?
Not everything. You got everything.
Okay.
Well done.
We've talked a lot about your help with fraud and scams and connecting with resources, but you also provide services for mediation. What does that look like?
So that's the casework that we do.
Okay.
On the Attorney General's website, the Seniors versus Crime, you can go Seniors versus Crime Florida. It brings you to a website, and on that website is a lot of information. First of all, a lot of helpful information. And there's something called a request for assistance.
Okay.
You can fill that out. That form goes to the Attorney General's office, and then that request comes to the proper county or closest county or agency that can offer assistance. We review that when it comes in. As a team, we review it as a team. Every Thursday morning, we review all the RFAs that come in, and we assign them out. Kathleen is a caseworker. We have 2 other caseworkers. One is a retired DEA intelligence analyst, and one is a Deborah was in insurance or banking and insurance, and Hal was also in that. And so one of those caseworkers will take that and then reach out and make contact with the complainant. And from there, we determine whether or not we can help them. We have criteria from the Attorney General's office that, of course, we have to follow. And then we offer the ability to reach out to whatever agency or business that they're complaining about and talk to them on behalf. And when we say, hi, I'm Scott Harrington from Seniors versus Crime, a special project of the Florida Attorney General's office, that sends up a flag, right? Nobody wants to be on the wrong side of the Attorney General's office. And we're investigating a complaint made against you. And so we try to mediate and come to an agreement between the parties that satisfies both of them. I want to mention one thing. We had a case with a local car dealership where we had a complainant make a complaint against this car dealership. I don't want people to think that this is one-sided. Our job is to investigate. We met with the complainant. We met with the car dealership. What we found was the car dealership did everything right. They did the honorable thing. They offered that complainant the ability to rectify the situation they were complaining about, but that complainant was just never going to be satisfied. And so in that case, we report back to the Attorney General. Car dealership did everything right. Case is closed. So it can go both ways.
All right. And running a volunteer organization like this, you say there's 9. Do you set criteria upon yourself? Like, all right, everybody has to put in 20 hours to make this work. How does that work? Like, when it's a volunteer organization, it's a volunteer organization. How do you, who sets the schedule, and how does that work get distributed?
Do you want to talk to that?
Well, it's everything. I don't think anybody really says, "Oh, sorry, I can't do it today." I mean, it's not a matter of, okay, make sure everybody's doing it. It's make sure everybody's not doing too much, because everybody's putting in an enormous amount of time. The Facebook takes a great deal of time to put up. The caseworkers are super diligent about doing the research and the background. So I don't think we've never sat down and said, okay, how many hours have you done this week and how many do you need to do? Because I don't think that would be anything that Scott, he's the manager, and I don't think that's anything I've heard out of his mouth ever.
Nope.
But we have protocols if we get a case, and we have expectations of how soon you return the call, or you call somebody when we get a case, how many times we call them, how much time we give them to respond back to us. If there's 2 parties in the case, we do the same thing. So we have our own interior criteria that we use, and then but however long that takes.
Yeah,
It's a very professional operation. We have rules that we have to follow that come from the Attorney General's office. What Kathleen mentioned, we make sure that if we get a complaint, we try 5 times to reach the person who's being, or business who's being complained about, by telephone, by email, and by registered letter, to make sure that they can never say, well, we didn't know there was a complaint against us, right? We want to make sure that we cross all our I's and cross all our T's and dot our I's. I got that backwards. Our
you cross
volunteers,
your eyes. Then
nobody's going to be able to read it then. Nobody's going to read it.
I can't see anything when that happens.
Our volunteers are phenomenal people. I say this constantly to the group. I've never worked with a finer group of volunteers. I've been I've been involved in boards of directors throughout my life for different philanthropic organizations and volunteer organizations, and I've never worked with a better group of people, more committed. We meet every Thursday as a team, and we go over the cases that are open, and everyone offers helpful suggestions on how to bring that case forward. We go over all the presentations we're doing, who's going to do them. We try to have 3 people from the organization at each presentation. So there's 1 or 2 presenters and then somebody to stand at our information table, answer questions. We talk about our Facebook page, which Teresa constantly updates. I don't know if she wants me to use her last name. That's why I hesitated. Yeah. It's a lot of work to keep a Facebook page current and active. Yeah. And then we talk
about it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Couldn't even figure out how to get mine open, right?
We got to get your followers up. I didn't go to your page. We're going to work on.
We'll work on that.
We're working on getting your followers.
And then we talk about new business, what's coming up. I'd like to say we recently, last week, Sheriff Hardwick and his wife Kendall, who are
they're horrible people.
They're just awful, aren't they?
They're the meanest people.
Sheriff Hardwick and his wife Kendall came at noon on our Thursday and brought with them lunch for us. By the way, lunch that they paid for, not the taxpayers of St. Johns County.
Yeah.
Went over to Ned's, which is a favorite, picked up a couple trays of food, brought it over, sat with us for an hour, asked us about us, asked us what we need, how can I help you? And we are just so blessed in this county to have that kind of support and to be working with those kind of people.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, they are gems, and she's right there with him every step of the way. And what she's doing with the Diamond of Dreams and what she's been able to pull off is
unbelievable.
Amazing.
We've offered to help if we can.
We did the Field of Dreams up in St. John's, Durban Crossing area up there, and it was so challenging. And Kendall made it look easy, and she, just because no one could tell her no.
Right, it's just too nice.
I walk in, it's already no. Kendall walks in, it's like, oh, here's my wallet. Yeah, but you can't tell Kendall no.
No.
So and they're just wonderful people and very close friends. And I'll tell you, one of the things I didn't know about this program, to be honest, and I feel like I was in the know, but I didn't know about this program. Taylor called me, and I thought I had a grasp of what the program is, but you guys have totally woke me up a little bit. I do have one of my friends is the undersheriff in Duval County.
Okay.
So, I'm sure Sheriff Hardwick and TK can figure it out. But if you need me to make that connection, I do. I will gladly do that.
Here you go. I do.
I would gladly do that. Just a great program. We're about to close out here.
Sure.
Anything that we've missed that we need to talk about, we need to get the information out there. Again, your Facebook page is Seniors versus Crime, St. Johns County.
Yep.
All right.
We should give out phone numbers.
And if you would, when you do grab this and you tag yourself on that page.
If you can teach me how.
Teresa's going to take care of that for you.
She will.
She sounds like she knows what she's doing
Y'all
with that.
posted a link about being on the show today, so I put the link to the show in the comments.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
I was going to say, make sure you tag us and the 904 now, because we have a couple more followers than you right now.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
But it would be a great success if you passed us.
Yeah.
But
getting the word out is the most critical thing for us.
That is what we can do for you best.
Yes, sir.
And getting that word out, and we appreciate you guys coming in.
Thank you for giving us the chance. Do I have time to give the phone number?
You do. And give it twice. Always
thank
give
you.
it twice.
Our local phone number at the SROC station at the Sheriff's Department is 904-209-1432. That's 904-209-1432. And there is also an 800 number, which is 800-203-3099. That's 1-800-203-3099. And if you call that, eventually it will get to us.
All right. Any questions we missed online, Aiden?
I haven't seen a new question. I think we got all of the comments.
They've been mesmerized with the talk.
Yes. They were so challenged by your beautiful haircut. So, see, I have to be cautious. If we both take off my hats at the same time.
See the scar?
We'll throw the lights out. We'll throw the lights out of whack. But thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Scott. Really appreciate you guys coming in. I appreciate you educating us and educating all the people in the 904 now. My 2 cents tomorrow, which I have already pre-recorded, guys, is talking about sticking with your tribe and being a part of your tribe and bringing the right people into your tribe. So I think you guys are wonderful what you're doing. Volunteers, it makes it so admirable. I appreciate it. You have any shout outs that you need to get out there?
I'm getting phone numbers in here. I'll be on the morning show with everybody in the morning.
Yep. We will be back at 8. Aiden, you're with us too, right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right. And I sent some wonderful interviews we have coming up in the next month.
Yep. Got them
so
on the calendar.
we got some great interviews in the next month coming in. So the 904, we get great people every day.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys.
Bye,
I'll see you in the
guys.
morning.
Thank you.